What's up, everybody? What's up, twitch.tv/the Trident Network. Hope everybody's having a great Wednesday. I'm here in beautiful Burbank, California, where the sun is shining and I'm feeling good, ready to do some improv. This is I Love Improv with Trent Dozier. I am, of course, the titular Trent Dozier. And baby, I'm happy to be here once again. If you're here live in the chat, say what's up to yourselves, say what's up to me, and say what's up, as we all do right now at once, to our technical producer, the queen of the screen, Val Agnew. What's up, Val?
Oh, hey, Trent. How are ya?
Like I said, sun's shining. I'm feeling good. How's it for you in Chicago right now?
It's weirdly cold and dark, so not ideal.
Weirdly cold and dark, or on brand cold and dark for Chicago?
Not for almost June.
You would think that, but that's it's honestly pretty funny because I was saying to Val in the pre-show, there's always a winter that gets somebody to move, such as myself. I freaking got the hell out of there. And Val was like, I've been through 35 winters and it hasn't happened yet. Maybe, Val, it's not going to be a winter that takes you down. Maybe it's going to be snow in the middle of June that takes you down or something like that.
That could do it.
Well, only time will tell. We'll all keep waiting. We'll do this show in perpetuity until Val moves, and that will be when the show comes to a conclusion.
Why? It's on the internet.
Yeah, I guess that's true. But really, what the people want to know is if Val's ever going to leave Chicago. So we'll do the show until Val does leave Chicago or until Val dies. If I die first, I'll just have someone come in and replace me, and then we'll go from there, Val.
Perfect.
How's that sound?
That sounds great. Thanks, Trent.
Okay. Well, like I said, this is I Love Improv with Trent Dozier. We are a part of the Trident Network. Of course, you are watching this on twitch.tv/the Trident Network, the streaming channel of the Trident Network, or perhaps you are listening to this in the future as a podcast. This could be a podcast venture for you. However you are intaking this, we appreciate it. We thank you. We love you. And we also love the Trident Network. Val, there's a ton of cool stuff coming up on the horizon for the Trident Network. Most of it starting next week, or if you're listening to it on a podcast, starting tomorrow. First and foremost, the premiere of a brand new podcast from what would you call Stir Friday Night? Comedy Collective? A comedy collective? Stir Friday Night, a great Chicago-based comedy collective. They have a new Trident Network podcast coming called Stool Pigeons. It's a tabletop gaming podcast. That's very exciting. And then, Val, there's a bunch of shows premiering next week, including not a premiere, but the return of Stupid Games, Stupid Prizes, Stupid Games, Stupid Prizes, hosted by the wonderful Justin Swinson. And then, is this right? A new show called Bitcherton?
That is correct.
Bitcherton? I'm assuming it's got something to do with bitches and Bridgerton. Am I right?
That is 100% accurate.
And then we also have a new podcast premiering called Smashing Game Time, which is a video game-based podcast. Is that correct?
That is also correct, yes.
Wow. So stay tuned to the Trident Network. There's new stuff coming always. Trident Network, of course, a three-pronged provider of entertainment via live shows like this, or via podcasts like this, or via pre-recorded digital media content, which technically, as I've said before, I Love Improv does fall into that category as well. So this is the perfect show. Val, anything else you would like to note Trident-wise, or should we get into this week's guest?
Let's do it. Let's rock and roll.
Oh, here we go, baby. It was funny. I was thinking about how I was going to introduce this person earlier, and I was thinking to myself, like, I would say we have a perfect guest for this show. But then I was also thinking about it, and I was like, yes, this is the perfect guest for this show, but I feel like 100% of the guests have been the perfect guest for this show because I typically only ask people who love improv as much as I do. And this person certainly loves improv as much as I do. They are someone who is a great longtime friend of mine and one of my first like real improviser friends. We met all the way back in probably 2013, 14 range at the old Made Up Theater in Fremont, California. She is a jet setter, a world traveler. She's done improv on more than one continent, and she's also a teacher and very good at improv. Please give some love. Welcome my friend and soon to be yours, Carolyn Janis. Hey, Carolyn.
Hello, Trent Dozier.
How you feeling?
I'm feeling fantastic. I'm so happy to be here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a lovely, lovely intro. Thank you.
Well, good. Thank you. I'm glad. It's interesting. I feel like I try to think about what I'm going to say about a person in the intro, but I try to give the compliments free flowing. I don't know if I've ever said that before. I try to pre-plan my intro, but the compliment section, I try to just go with the flow and see where my heart's taking me. So that's a little behind the scenes for everybody. Carolyn is, like I said, one of my longest friends in improv specifically. And at Made Up Theater, when I first started taking classes, you were just someone I gravitated to on stage, obviously, because I think you're a very good improviser, which I'm about to talk about. But also off stage, you're a wonderful person, and we clicked really well as, I think, improvisers and friends. So I think the proof is in the pudding because we're still friends to this day. And every time I see you, I'm happy. Anytime I get to improvise with you, I'm happy. And today is both things. I get to see you and improvise with you. So it's going to be a good day.
It's the best. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, oh, sorry. Did I cut you off? Please.
Well, I was just going to say, like, as you were talking, I was trying to remember the beginning. And I remember, like, the first time you showed up at Mutt, because you were an unfamiliar face for me in the crowd, even though you knew the Mutt guys. And so I was immediately like, okay, who's this? And then immediately you could, when you started playing, I knew that you could play. So I was like, okay, great. Wonderful addition. But I don't remember some of our like early work.
I don't either. I remember like I remember us hanging out more than I remember us doing improv together, which I do think is typical of me.
That's good.
And with everybody, I have a very bad improv memory. So I've started recording my improv sets with this show. But yeah, I'm sure we'll talk about it more. Yeah. But the people are here for some improv comedy, baby. So let's give it to you.
Give them what they want.
Yeah. First things first, Carolyn and I are going to do an improv scene for you. If you have seen the show before or listened to the show before, you know what is about to happen. But if you're tuning in for the first time, Carolyn and I need a suggestion for the scene that we're about to do. Now, any suggestion is a great suggestion, but here at I Love Improv, we like our suggestions to be meaty, to be heartier, to be more robust. We want something vast and inclusive. So, as an example, instead of giving the suggestion of car, we would like something more specific, like Carolyn is a car salesman trying to sell Trent a used Toyota Corolla. And also Trent has 12 toes, something like that. Get as specific as possible. Now, when giving a suggestion like that, in my opinion, it does help to maybe know the improvisers you are suggesting for, so that maybe you can even cheat a little bit and play to those improvisers' strengths. So if you know Carolyn and you know myself, please feel free to start throwing out suggestions now into the chat. But if you don't, I am going to tell Carolyn and everybody what I love about Carolyn as an improviser right now, and maybe that will help inform you, the listener or viewer, what type of suggestion you would like to give Carolyn. Are you ready to receive compliments?
Oh my God, I don't know. This is what I've been stealing myself for, but I think so. I'll try to. Yeah.
Well, okay. As we've said before, it's always very awkward for any human ever to sit and just accept compliments and just be like, thank you. Yes, thank you. But unfortunately, or should I say maybe fortunately, you're in the hot seat today in the best way possible, I think.
Am I allowed to compliment you
Um,
back? Or like, do I have to wait till the end to do that? Or
Say that again. Hang on.
am I
think my
allowed to
audio just
also
cut out.
compliment you?
The answer is yes.
Okay, thank you, Val.
Yep.
Can you hear me, Val?
Yeah, we can hear you. Can you hear us?
Oh, I can hear you now.
Okay, I'm not going to tell you what I asked because Val already answered, so you can just live in mystery.
Okay, great. Well, there's wow, this is actually funny because it's been a long time since I had any technical difficulties, and I didn't drop off the face of the planet, which is good. But I'm excited to hear what you asked Val in the editing. But first, some compliments for Carolyn. Carolyn, like I said, I gravitated towards you immediately, both on stage and off, because you are, as a human and as an improviser, so warm and inviting and really giving. I feel like you are great at giving gifts to your teammates, and not even necessarily giving a gift, but if someone else is given a gift, you're really good at like heightening that for somebody or exploring that for somebody, or like, hey, Trent, player X just said you had a big nose, so I'm going to do something with your big, you're really good at enhancing the scene and the world and the individuals. You're good at all those things on a macro level and a micro level. I also feel like there's a lot of people who play, wild and crazy characters, and I've seen you get there, and I think you can do that and are good at doing that. You are one of the best people I've ever seen play like be like a real human. And a lot of times that's you playing close to yourself, but not all the time, it's more of a far-fetched character. But even if you're playing something crazy, you're very good at grounding stuff in reality. The situation might be bonkers, but it is a believable situation because Carolyn is there. And it's like, I guess everybody only eats cheese on this planet, but doesn't seem that weird because it seems like it's a normal day-to-day operation. So just on stage and off, I think you are like one of my favorite teammates because you care about everybody. You care about how the show's going, but you also care about your teammates and you care about yourself. And you like to use a wrestling term, get your stuff in, but you also are like, if you're not the focus of a show, you don't leave the stage and be like, well, shit, everybody was walking all over me tonight. You find ways to insert yourself in the show. And then maybe you and I one-on-one will talk some shit later. But in a group setting, you're one of the best people to have. You're like a great moderator, both like literally and figuratively. Like, I don't know. You're just kind of like you're kind of like the perfect teammate, in my opinion. And maybe above all else, you got a great smile. And anytime I see your face, it just literally lights up the room. That's not really improv related, but I wanted to end on that.
Good. And yes, thank you. God, that was so much. That was too much.
Was it too much? Okay.
I can barely take it. I'm very, very thankful for all those nice things you said about me. Thank you.
You agree with all that? Disagree in any areas? Think I was too generous?
It was wonderful to hear. I mean, I've definitely been told before that I ground things. And I do see that as a strength, I think.
Yeah. I see it as a strength for you.
I think it helps with the whole like suspension of disbelief and stuff to have that maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I love playing with you, and I love playing with almost everybody I play with just because I love playing so much. So
yeah.
If I can be a good teammate, that's all I can ask for.
Oh, yeah.
Thank
you
you.
And me are both very similar in that way where it's like, who are we playing with today? Cool. Don't care. Yeah. Just want to do some improv. Would love to play with anybody. Which is why this show's called I Love Improv, because baby, I love improv.
Man, do we love improv. Like when you said I invite people on the show who love improv as much as I do, that really like warmed my heart, because that is maybe one thing I judge improvisers on. It's like, oh, you don't seem to love this as much as I do. Why are you doing it? Like, I fucking love it. So
we were just
we can swear, right?
Oh yeah, please.
Yeah. Okay, good. Thank you.
Val chiming in.
Fucking love it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Swear away. Yeah. John Del Vecchio, who was the most recent guest, we were kind of talking about this last episode, or now I'm wondering if it was maybe off mic, but we talking about people who are like too cool for school, and like you can tell that they don't want to be there while they're actively on stage, and it's just kind of like,
what's
why
the
are
point?
you here? Yeah, exactly.
We're not making a lot of money doing this. We're not,
If any,
getting famous. Yeah. So like, why bring that? Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm sure we'll talk more about that at the end. I love to talk about that. Val, how are we looking suggestion wise? Any suggestions currently in?
So I put out there that I like to merge suggestions, and we got 2 really good ones, and I cannot for the life of me figure out how to merge them together. So I'm going to give them both to you, and you can choose to pull from one or both or some components, whatever feels right. Okay.
Okay.
From Marcus Day Hooray.
Oh, many time suggestion giver, Marcus Day Hooray. Hello,
yes,
Marcus.
Welcome back, Marcus. Carolyn is a wedding planner planning Trent's clown wedding.
Excellent.
And then from my very own M. Jerickson 10. Carolyn is a soccer coach who's frustrated with her best player, Trent, who's gotten very into famous philosophers.
That is tough, Val. I'm not sure how you would combine those.
Yeah.
I do feel like the sentiment is the same across both, which might be Carolyn's frustrated with me.
Well,
How about this? I think since Carolyn and I and Val all know Michael, and some of us are even married to Michael, let's go with the suggestion from Marcus Day Hooray. Michael, thank you also for your suggestion. We love Michael here at I Love Improv. Maybe some people more than others. I'm not going to say who of the 3 of us is married to Michael, but there might be someone who is married to Michael who name is Val. But we will. So Val, one more time, can you read that suggestion from Marcus Day Hooray, and we'll take that. And we'll go with that.
Carolyn is a wedding planner planning Trent's clown wedding.
Awesome.
Okay.
Great.
All right.
Thank you, Marcus Day Hooray. Thank you, Val. Thank you, Michael.
I'm so glad you could come in today. I just want to discuss a few things with you. Okay.
Are there problems? The email was a little vague, so I wasn't sure if this was a positive meeting or a negative meeting.
I mean, there are some positives. There are some really good positives.
Okay.
We were able to secure 2 elephants.
Great.
So that was a big concern of mine. They can't be touched by any of the guests. So I don't know. Yeah. Well, I mean, we could probably get a photo with you and the soon to be Mrs. Jingles. But you 2 and the elephants would probably be fine, but no, none of the guests. They say that the elephants can be startled by children. So they really kind of want to keep them in a penned off, roped off area, sort of away from the ceremony. But they can get them.
But they will
Do you still want them?
Yeah. If we can take pictures around them, like how close can Daphne and I get on the picture? Also, Daphne's not going to take my last name, but
she's not. Oh, I'm sorry.
No. She's going to keep.
I shouldn't have presumed.
No. Don't presume away. That's fine by me. I love a presumption. People say it makes an ass out of you and me, but not in my business, baby. I love a presumption.
I guess actually in your business, presumption is probably part of the deal that makes the joke work. Or I don't know. I shouldn't step on your big toes.
I feel like I'm. Please step away. I have big shoes on. Hard to avoid stepping on these toes. You know what I mean? Oink oink.
Okay. So Daphne, you and Daphne can be definitely, like, you could probably, like I say, you might be able to touch them. So you guys can be close.
Let's get the elephants in. Yeah. If we lock them up.
Great.
For sure. Okay. So that's a good thing, right?
That's a good thing. So I guess I'll just kind of go back and forth between the good and the bad.
Okay.
One kind of a negative is that the old troupe that you wanted to invite they're not going to be able to come. They're in sort of the Eastern Bloc, and they're having passport issues. They were performing internationally, and now it looks like they're not going to be able to get back to the US in time.
So not a single member, not a single member will be there.
No. They suggested that the chimpanzee that you used to work with is in a science lab that's only about 400 miles away. Okay.
I know exactly where he is. I put him in that lab.
Okay. Because they thought maybe he could get out for the day.
No, he could if Lloyd the clown or Lloyd the monkey had my permission, he would be allowed to. But I actually have a restraining order against him, and that's why he's in the. There were some. We got in a huge. It was a big thing. I'm just. Yeah. Lloyd will not be there, and it's so nobody from clown show's gonna make it. Not a single. They're all trapped in the Eastern Bloc right now.
Yeah, I mean, they said that Herbie retired, and so Herbie is in the States because he's not performing with them anymore. But he has not responded to any of my attempts at communication. I emailed, I called the last known number that was disconnected. The address that I was given was Milwaukee for Herbie. Okay. So, I mean, do you want me to look into that?
Yeah, I guess we can follow up with Herbie, but I don't know. As a solo act, not really. I mean, the whole reason I wanted Clown Show to perform specifically was because Daphne and I met after a Clown Show.
I know. We had the plan with the little car coming and all of them coming out, and with one guy, Herbie, coming out, it's not going to be the same. So
no, it won't be.
Yeah. Okay.
one person getting out of a tiny car is like only so impressive. It's more.
I mean, there'll probably be plenty of guests doing that already. In their own.
Oh yeah, there will
cars.
be. There will.
So yeah,
and that's going to be from my half of the wedding, if you know what I mean.
Do you mean that your half of the wedding is?
Clown.
Like more likely to drive.
Clown.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. Gotcha. And remind me what Daphne does.
What Daphne does? She's an actress.
Okay, because she seems really all in with this whole clown theme, and that but she's not a clown, so I was curious.
No. Yeah, she is an actress, so she is very familiar with kind of like diving into a role per se. And I'm pretty, as you know, adamant that this is more of a clown-based wedding.
Right.
And she never really thought she was going to get married, and so this is kind of more my dream wedding scenario. So
well, she has contacted me because it sounds like she's going to go full clown for the ceremony. Is that right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the plan.
That is so sweet that she's going to do that for you. That is, I mean, that you're doing it for each other. That's so sweet.
She's incredible. She's the love of my life. I couldn't see my life with anybody else. I believe it was the famous philosopher Plato who said, "Love the one you're with." He
did. Yeah, that was Plato. It got used later, but Plato said it first.
Yeah. So.
Oh, that's great. She's talked to me about wearing a like a cotton candy dress. I'm just going to talk to her about that because I think there will be humidity issues.
Yeah.
That's between me and her.
I don't even know. I don't.
All right, let me give you some more good news.
I don't even want to picture the bride before I see her. You know what I mean?
Yes. Okay, so more good news.
Okay, great.
So we got a full orchestra, but they are a child's orchestra. They're a children orchestra because that was what we had the budget for. So they're about like 5th to 8th graders, but they're very good. And I've been told that they can play anything you like.
What's the skill level? Do they play like 5th to 8th graders, or do they play like at least like high school?
They got to regionals. So, I mean, they're pretty good. Again, for the budget, I think it's this or,
what
a DJ.
State are they? What state is their school based in?
They got to regionals in Rhode Island. So it's a small state. Not a lot of regions.
Okay, let's maybe look into like like a California school or a Texas school or just any.
Can you up the budget for me? Because I can't make miracles.
Are they going to be more expensive?
Yes.
Oh.
I mean, you're talking
Ugh.
about expensive states, you know. I
All
would
right.
love, everybody would love to have a kids orchestra from California at their wedding, okay? But we don't all have that kind of money.
Yeah, you're right. You're
So,
right. All right, let's do the child orchestra from Rhode Island,
okay.
I guess. That's a
Yeah.
comp. Can
I,
I just want to circle back also,
uh-huh.
since Clown Show's not going to do the shows there, do we have another troupe that we could put into that slot, or did you just want to leave that open, or what were you thinking
I
there?
mean, it was a big chunk of the reception, so I do think we need to fill it with something.
Yeah.
I have some options for you that I wanted to talk about, but I don't know how you or Daphne will feel about them. So one of them is like performing small animals. Like this is a private pet owner who has about 20 small animals
No,
and has
I don't
trained
work with
dogs and
animals
cats and
anymore. I
bunnies.
do not work
Okay.
with animals
Okay.
anymore. Ever
Okay.
since Lloyd, ever since I had to put that restraining order against Lloyd the monkey,
Yeah.
it's a strict he tried to kill me. He tried to kill me.
I would also lock him up. I think
Well,
that's totally understandable.
yeah. He was
He's
his whole deal was that he was really proficient with knives and blades and assorted like small blades, and we got into a tiff, and he tried to stab me in my sleep. So
see, I don't mean to knock your profession, but like I don't think clowns of any kind, and certainly chimpanzees, should be trained with weaponry. Like I just think that we've moved into different kinds of entertainment, you know.
I fully agree. I don't think there's any use for weapons in today's world. I mean, you've seen my solo show. It's clearly based in pratfalls and
Yeah, family
a
friendly,
lot of physical comedy.
looks delicious, all the like cream and everything that you're using.
Yeah, I use a lot of
Yeah.
honestly, if I used less cream in my shows, I'd have a bigger budget for this wedding, but the cream is like the best part of my show, so I gotta.
Yeah,
All right, so
and I
no,
think yeah.
no to these guys. No to these guys.
Okay, so no small animals. Okay, so there's an acrobatic troupe. It's a husband and wife team. They're both contortionists, so they can get really creative with what they can do.
Okay.
They do usually play like a sex show in Amsterdam, but I've told them that this is, supposed to be family friendly. So they've promised me that they will not have sex during the show. We can probably convince them not to even get close, not to, I mean, they'll have to be close to each other, but not close to having sex.
Well, if they're professionals, I'm kind of leaning towards maybe just letting them do their full-blown show.
Okay. Okay, I'm sure they prefer that.
These aren't amateur acrobats.
No. They went from Cirque du Soleil, and then Cirque du Soleil decided that what they were doing, they were in the Zumanity show, and then they were like, you guys are taking it too far. I'm sorry, we're going to have to let you go. And they went to Amsterdam, and they've been really able to flourish there with really creative stuff. Like I'll send you a tape of what they're doing, and it is not stuff that you or I could do. I mean, maybe you and Daphne, but I don't think I could do it.
No.
Yeah, and I mean, my husband and I are flexible, but we are not
like that.
Not like that. Okay, so that's a maybe. Okay,
that's definitely a maybe. I like that better than the small animals for sure.
Definitely, I've already crossed small animals out. We're not going to do it.
Great.
And then the third option I had is a family that they're all adults. It's 6 of them. It's a mother, father, and 4 sons, and they do something. I've never booked it for a wedding before, but they all inhale water, and then somehow they time it that they can like spit the water out and into each other's mouths like a living fountain.
Human fountain?
Yeah, living fountain. You know them?
No.
Oh, yeah.
That's what it sounds like it is, and that sounds cool.
Okay, and they can do it over you as a couple. I mean, they can do it over the procession.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Okay,
done.
That's a yes.
Let's actually I think I want to use the sex couple to fill the clown show portion, but I would like to see if we can incorporate the living fountain
into the ceremony.
Yeah,
I love that. Okay, will do. Has anything else come up for you that you two want to request, or any concerns that you're having at this time?
Yeah, just one concern. What's security gonna be like at the wedding? Because every day
worry about Lloyd.
Live in fear that Lloyd's gonna get out, and
Yeah.
I've accepted that I will die, obviously, at some point. But if it's not by Lloyd's monkey hand, I'd love that. And I'd love it even more if it wasn't by Lloyd's monkey hand on my wedding day. So what's security looking like?
I'm just hearing about Lloyd really today. I didn't realize how extreme things were. I knew he was part of the old clown show, but I didn't know how violent he was. We don't have a lot left in the budget for security. But I think that, maybe we should, I'll definitely contact the science lab where Lloyd is now and make sure that he has tight security on him there, just make sure that they, locked his cage or whatever they have to do.
Mm-hmm.
As far as at the wedding, right now we've got just your two brothers providing all the security because they said they do it for free.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
are they aware of Lloyd? Can they keep
Oh yeah, they're aware of Lloyd.
Okay.
What the hell's this? Oh my god. Okay. I just got a notification on my phone that Lloyd has escaped. I guess this is a text. I received a text basically warning me that it's Lloyd has
because of your restraining order. Yeah, they're gonna text you.
Dear Mr. Jingles, here to inform you that Lloyd the monkey has escaped our high security facility. He carved into the wall of his room that he is, quote, coming for Boingo Jingles, and Boingo Jingles' blood will be on my monkey hands by the end of today, end quote. So we just wanted to let you know that you should be on the lookout. He is fully aware of where you live, where Daphne lives, and where your wedding is taking place, and also where your wedding planner lives. Uh-oh. Courtney, that's you.
How did he get all that information? Why were they giving him that information?
I don't know. I don't know if they gave him that information or what. Okay, well, this is
starts a warning with "Dear Mr. Jingles." Like, I don't think they're giving this the seriousness that it needs.
Well, it is. I mean, it is my name, I suppose.
Oh my god. I know, but I just feel like there should be. I didn't get a warning.
What's security like in your house here? Are we good?
No. I mean, the doors are locked. I didn't lock the door after you when you came in. But he couldn't get all the way here by now. Well, surely he's.
I don't get a lot of service up here in the valley, so I don't know. I don't know when this text was sent.
Okay.
Let me just go.
I don't have a he shouldn't have a personal vendetta against me, and I have a thing about apes and monkeys. I don't really want to be anywhere near them ever.
Was there an incident?
Yeah, but I was younger and there weren't knives. It was just I fell into an enclosure at the zoo, and it was spider monkeys, and they were all over me.
Oh my god.
They're small, and they have little hands, and they get into all sorts of little places.
Monkey hands are
terrifying. Okay. Well, I'm gonna just text my boyfriend to come over, and he'll probably be able to be here in, I don't know, an hour. Okay. Well, this changes things because I'm having trouble concentrating.
Are these lights supposed to be flickering?
Oh my god. Was he ever trained to work in electronics?
He's smart. I don't know I know for a fact.
Who knows at the science lab too, what he's been learning.
I know. They're supposed to observe him, but I'm worried that they were teaching him stuff.
Oh my god.
This feels like Jurassic Park or Jaws.
How long has it been since you've seen him?
Since I've seen him? You mean since he tried to kill me?
Yeah.
22 years to the day. And
he's probably just been getting stronger.
Probably been lifting weights. And you know what they say about monkeys? They live for approximately 23 years. And he was just under a year old when he tried to kill me. So maybe he's thinking time's running out for him, and that's why time's about to run out for me.
Oh my god. Okay, well, that wasn't a fucking bird.
No, it
so-
wasn't a bird. That was clearly a monkey with a vendetta.
Okay. I think we should move this into the bathroom, and I think we should move it into the bathroom. We'll close things, and we'll just get in the shower, and we'll just finish our meeting in there. And I mean, what's his style? Will he just wait outside the house till he sees you?
I don't know. He'll probably go for a sneak attack. Maybe grab me by the ankle, pull me away, and then slit my throat would be my guess.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
It happened just as I suspected.
Get off of him. Get off, let go. Oh God. Mr. Jingles? Hey there. Hey there. Hey, Lloyd. Hi, Lloyd. I'm just a wedding planner. Are you in love? Do you wanna maybe plan a wedding? I can do anything. You want some peanut butter? Anything
No,
you
thank
need.
you. No, thank you. I'm allergic to peanut butter. But I'm in love with the doctor that helped me escape, though. So if you could help plan that wedding, that'd be great.
Okay. Is he dead? Did you just kill Boingo Jingles?
Oh yeah, this guy's dead. I slit his throat. And this wedding planning better be free of charge.
Yes.
You're gonna get it next.
Absolutely free, I promise.
All right, that's the scene.
I wanted to try to get the soccer coach in there, but things just went off the deep end.
We saw Play-Doh. That was pretty good. Could you guys hear me banging?
No.
I was banging for a long time.
Oh my God.
And you weren't reacting, so I didn't I was like, oh no, is my sound not working? That's why I didn't come in as the monkey, because I wasn't sure you could hear me at all.
Oh, that's probably going to sound way better in the podcast.
Yeah.
Or maybe it sounded good. Maybe it sounded good on Twitch. People could hear you banging, and just me and Carolyn couldn't hear you. Oh, that's very funny.
The Twitch audience would be like, oh my God, that's him. That's the monkey. They don't hear him yet.
Oh, well, once the monkey introduction was funny, but he kept getting brought back. And there was some point where I was like, the monkey's going to kill me. I also, Carolyn knows this because I feel like this is where I honed this specific move. But one of my favorite moves in improv is to walk on, cut somebody's throat, and walk off.
You did it last time you played in Fremont. You cut my throat.
So that was last month. Carolyn got her throat slit by me. There's Val. Hey, Val.
I was so distracted by figuring out why you couldn't hear me that I forgot to change the scene.
Well, I could hear you. I could definitely hear you laughing, but it did feel more or sound more faint to me than it normally does. So I don't know.
Weird. Well, we'll have to figure that out later. Folks in the chat, let us know if you could hear me.
Yeah.
So I can identify what the problem is.
Monkey bangs.
Yeah. That was a feat of invention, Carolyn. That was so cool. Just watching you just come up believably with almost no pause whatsoever. Just come up with all of these details of this wedding. Man, that was incredible. I wish I could do that. That was really cool.
I was also thoroughly impressed with Carolyn and your creation there, because I was literally in my brain, I was like, what would be a funny pun name for a clown troupe, but also keep trying to talk to you? And then I was like, clown show? Like, come on. That was like the worst possible way I could have gone. And then I was trying to think of a funny name for the monkey too. And I said Lloyd. I don't know.
That's
I think Lloyd is a
amazing
great
name.
monkey name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. But
And Clown Show does sound like the name of an entertainment group that would have to go and perform in the Eastern Bloc because there was no one else that wanted to watch them. So
yeah. Oh man, Carolyn, have you done did you do a lot of Zoom improv during the pandemic?
I did, but I wouldn't say I did as much as a lot of people. I did a weekly meetup with the Chicago Improv Studio, which is Bill Arnett and Noah Garopoulos and Pat Pope and a bunch of people. So there were a lot of regulars who would meet every week.
Mm-hmm.
And that was pretty much all I did, maybe a couple other things, but I found it difficult. And like my team that I was performing with regularly in Chicago, it just wasn't our style. Like I missed them so much, but when we would get together, we'd just play Jackbox games and stuff because we couldn't. The improv on Zoom didn't really work for us.
Yeah,
so.
I didn't like those early days as much either. I mean, I feel like now it's more I was gonna say refined, but I don't think it's like it is more refined than it was. I don't think it's like a fully realized art form per se yet, online improv. But I feel like I was pretty similar to you. I didn't do a ton of it. The reason I asked, I feel like, was because I feel like you and I kind of played it the same way, where I feel like in real life, you and I are both much more physical players, whether it's like literally throwing ourselves around or like at a minimum, like, object work, doing something. Like you are someone who I think of who's always got something going on. So like, even if you're just like standing and having a conversation with someone, it's still great to watch because you're always active.
Yeah, I would say you're definitely more likely to throw yourself around than I am, but I will have a little bit of object work if I think of it. Yeah, that does help me.
But I found that as evidenced by the end of this scene, I've been trying to figure it out a little bit more. But I feel like for me, the hardest thing that I've had to translate from stage improv to online improv is the physical aspect of it. Yeah. I feel like if you watch the Twitch stream, I feel like I talk now more with my hands, just so it looks like, just so it's not just me and Carolyn talking the whole time and like there's some action going on. Because I feel like I'm a very like a physical touchy person. Like if I'm talking to someone, I'll be like ha ha ha, and touch their shoulder or whatever, but I don't feel like I talk like this with my hands. And I feel like that's something that I've tried to do more online, because like Val and I have talked about before, this show too is specifically a little weird because it is for two different audiences at the same time, a visual audience and an online audience. I don't know if I had a question in there.
Well, I'll add to it anyway while you think about whether or not you had a question. Like sometimes we would play a little bit with what is possible on Zoom improv that isn't necessarily, and you can do a lot of fun stuff just by like changing your proximity to the camera and all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
But I don't do it very much. I mean, I don't do online improv very much, but I think with this scene, the length, that knowing that it was going to be about 15 minutes and with the suggestion, I just didn't feel like any of those things was particularly.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it wasn't,
but I loved you disappearing when the monkey took you, of course.
Well, I was thinking about was like, I was a clown and I was doing a whole like clown wedding. And at one point I feel like this was something I should have gone back to more, but I honked my nose and I mentioned my shoes. And I just feel like on stage, it's easier to like physically present yourself as a clown. But here in this box, like there was only so much that I felt like I could do. And there was probably more I could do, but my head was like, squirt what's a funny name for a monkey? Squirt the thing. Yeah, there was just, but I agree. But it was kind of more of a a stationary scene. Val, you were about to say something.
Well, I was just gonna say, like, I've been doing a reasonable amount of improv online, but it's mostly
Yeah.
been through Comedy Sports, which is a lot more physical.
Yeah.
Right.
And a huge thing that makes a big difference is just standing up, which I know is
Mhm.
harder when you're recording for a podcast. So we don't typically do that for this show.
I'm
Carol-
standing.
Yeah, I could
Oh.
tell. You know,
Thank
you know how I
Carol.
could tell Carolyn was standing up was because she's so much taller than the light switch.
Ah.
And I feel like I don't have any light switches near me, but they're all at my eye level right now because I'm, as you can see, in this chair in my corner. But I do agree, Val. I do think standing up opens you up more. Something, Val, you and I have talked about, which was something that was happening to both Carolyn and I in this scene, is that we're improvising with headphones with a cord. So it's like harder to, I have AirPods, but they're like finicky. In fact, they are what I think triggered that little technical mishap I had earlier before the suggestion. But I just like the freedom to be able to run around like that is cool. But, you know, they also have a built-in microphone, and I'm talking into a different microphone. And I just like, I don't want, it just feels like there's more, this is a more secure thing in terms of like
Oh yeah.
giving out a better product, but it also is like, you're literally tethered to your screen. So, you know, not only are you trapped in this box a little bit, but you have to like, you know, also stay within 6 feet of it or whatever. Probably less.
My
probably
laptop
way
is
less.
my laptop is from 2009, so I'm just grateful that it works.
Wow,
And
me too. Literally me too, Carolyn.
Wow.
I need a new one. Maybe that's why it fucked up.
Yeah.
Sorry, continue.
I was just gonna say, like, the speakers on the actual laptop are blown out. So if I ever watch something on it, I have to use an external speaker and I have to plug in to play. So
Okay, my speakers are
Tethered.
also blown out on my laptop. And so if I ever watch anything, I also have to do headphones or external speakers. That's very funny.
we're just living the same life miles apart from each other, I guess.
Folks, I just put the tip jar link in the chat. If you want to buy Trent a new laptop, hit us up.
Oh my God. Or Carolyn, if you
Or
want to buy
Carolyn,
Carolyn a new
yeah.
laptop.
It'll just be a laptop fund, a laptop jar.
Yeah. Well, we are approaching the top of the hour here, Carolyn. So the last thing I wanted to talk to you about is not really necessarily connected to the scene we just did per se, but I did tell you ahead of time that I wanted to talk to you about it. I mentioned that you are a world traveler. You've done improv in many places. I just was wondering if you could maybe talk a little bit about the difference or maybe the difficulties of like doing improv with people where English isn't necessarily their first language, or talk about some of your experiences doing improv in Greece and stuff like that. Cause I think it's very cool. And ironically, it is something that you and I haven't really talked about a ton, which is
That's true.
crazy because our main topic of conversation is typically improv, you and I. So
It's just the distance.
yeah.
Yeah. So I when Trent and I met, I was like when I first started to really devote a lot of my time to improv. I had dabbled in improv before, but just really got into it. And it was the first time I really heard about improv festivals, which so we would do the one in San Francisco, and San Jose then had one. And as a traveler, I was like, shit, I could do the thing I love in all these different places. Going to Camp Improv Utopia and hearing about all the improv happening around the States, but also there were people there from other countries.
Yeah.
So, and they would talk about the festivals in their countries. And I was like, wow, that's the fucking dream right there. So I saw that Greece was going to have an improv festival, and they were actually going to have their first ever improv festival in I think it was 2017.
That sounds right.
Yeah. And my best friend from high school lives in Greece, and I was ready for a change anyway. And I said, can I come and visit you? And so I got there, and festivals happen differently there. So festivals in the US, anybody can get tickets. You submit ahead of time, and then you can perform, all those kind of things. At the festivals in Europe that I went to, you would have to register ahead of time to even get a ticket to see the show. And by registering, you also sort of sign up for classes and things like that.
Oh,
so when I arrived, I couldn't register. It was too late.
Oh.
So I volunteered because I actually had done that at the San Francisco Improv Festival too, and it was a great way to see a bunch of shows for free. So I was like, can I volunteer? And I did. And I think it was at like they had an English show jam the week before the festival, something like that. And I jumped into that, and they were like, okay, you can play. So so then I volunteered at the festival, met a bunch of great people. And then in Greece, they take the whole summer off. So the festival was at the top of the summer, and then there was nothing until September. I think they should move the festival to September so that people can get all excited about improv and then start doing improv rather than getting all excited about it and waiting for 3 months. But so I waited, and then when it started up again, they had me teach the English classes, and I was teaching to a really international group of students. They had a 7-level program, and I taught all of them. And
wow.
Yeah, and it was like there was a guy from Belgium who spoke pretty good English who had been in the classes before. There was a father and daughter team from Taiwan who were living in Greece. So there was someone from Russia. There were several Greek people, obviously. So it was cool to see, and also at the festival, people from different countries speaking their own language in a scene or doing silent scenes. There was a great set by a group called who perform in Paris. They came to the San Francisco Improv Festival, and one of the games that they played was they did a scene in French, and they would pause periodically. They asked at the top of the game, they said, who here speaks the least amount of French? Guy in the front raised his hand. They were like, okay, we're going to be coming to you. So they'd do a little bit of the scene in French, and then they'd come to him and say, what do you think is going on? And he would tell them, and then they would adjust the scene. So anybody who did speak French was having a great time because they were like, oh my God, that's so not what's happening. But everybody who didn't speak French was also having a great time because we knew that it wasn't the same either, even though we didn't know what was happening. So it was fabulous. And so Greece, there's some of that too. It'd be like, sometimes somebody would do a scene where someone was speaking all in Greek. The other person would just respond a little bit in English. That would happen more at the festivals. And as a teacher and a coach, it was helpful for me because I don't speak a lot of other languages. I wish I did. Yeah. But being able to say, like, if you guys want to go and perform in festivals, it's most likely you'll be doing it in English because unfortunately colonization has made that an international language. Yeah. And so, if they wanted more experience improvising in English so that they'd be ready for festival submissions and things like that, it gave me more opportunities to help people and watch them play and things like that. So that was all nice. I would love to be able to do like a little bit of get enough Greek to just do a little bit of a scene. Oh yeah. As a Californian, I should have enough Spanish to do a little bit of a scene in Spanish, but it makes me nervous. But maybe just stop talking once you don't know what's going on and just do the silent stuff, which is also fun.
Yeah. Well, that's also the beauty of improv is that you can really, follow someone's feelings and emotions and you can respond emotionally silently still even, but
and there's so much comedy that can come from improv that's not at all related to words, right? Really, physical and facial expressions and all of that. So that's all international.
That one of my favorite things to do is silence in a scene or a full silence scene, and that's a horrible podcast. That doesn't work. So that's one tool just out of the tool belt, Yeah. Wow, that's very cool.
Yeah, well, it was really cool to hear about all the festivals happening. Apparently Manila in the Philippines has a huge festival, which I never would have thought about. Wow. It's really become a global phenomenon, and that's so fantastic. So wonderful. It is.
People love improv all across the globe, baby.
It's beautiful.
They love improv. All right. Well, that's great. Carolyn is obviously a wonderful performer, and I hope everyone enjoyed hearing her speak both in a scene and outside of it. I know I did. If you would like to see more of Carolyn, please visit madeuptheater.com, and that's theater with an R-E at the end, not an E-R. Made Up Theater is located in Fremont, California. If you're in the Northern California Bay Area, it is my home theater. It's the place where that has my heart. I'm sure Carolyn would feel similar. But please go there. It's a small business. The theater is honestly incredible. They've changed spaces over the last couple of years, and they're like went from a black box to like an actual theater. It's a great spot, and it's where Carolyn and I not only forged our true love of improv. I think we always loved improv, but there it was crystallized. But it's also where we became friends, and it's where I've met a lot of great people, and Carolyn's met a lot of great people there too. So visit madeuptheater.com for more information. They have shows every Saturday and occasional Fridays. And if you are not in the Bay Area, you can still tune in to madeuptheater.com, and they stream their shows. It's wonderful. Most of the, I believe Saturday is always short form. It's the they do a show called Whose Line Is It? No, wait, what do they call
It's
it?
called Laugh Track
Laugh Track
City,
which
and
is
we've
based on Whose
actually
Line.
and we've started adding a half-hour long form
Yes.
in the last month or so. So once you get through that hour and a half of short form, there is a little long form at the end for you.
It's worth it.
Stick around.
It's worth it, baby. Yeah, and I got to, when I was up there last month, I sat in and played with all my old pals and some new ones, including Carolyn. So go to madeuptheater.com for more information on Made Up Theater. So please support that theater any way you can. Also, please support the Trident Network any way you can. If you wish to support us monetarily, there are two ways you can do that. One is to hit the purple subscribe button somewhere down here ish, and you can subscribe to the Trident Network on Twitch. That will alert you anytime we're going live, not just this show, but all the other shows that the Trident Network streams. Trident Network is streaming Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday every week, so make sure you check that out. And the other way to help is become a patron for the Trident Network. Go to patreon.com/the Trident Network. That helps out not just this show, but all the other podcasts, all the other live shows, all the behind the scenes stuff that you guys don't get to see, all the hard work Val's putting in. Also, I guess another way you can support is go to thetridentnetwork.com and buy some merch. There's some cool merch out there. I was listening to a little plug for Val's podcast, D-Commentaries, a podcast I love. One of my favorite shirts, one of my favorite pieces of Trident merchandise in general is a D-Commentary specific shirt that says science is the real magic, because science is the real magic. And Val mentioned that she was wearing her Science is the Real Magic shirt the other day whenever that podcast was recorded. So go to the Trident Network for more information on all things Trident. And if you're listening to this on a podcast, get ready for all the cool things to come this week. If you're listening to this right now, get ready for all the cool Trident things to come next week. New podcast, Stool Pigeons, new podcast, Smashing Game Time, new live streaming show, Bitcherton, and the return of the live stream of Stupid Games, Stupid Prizes. Val, anything else you want to add?
That's it. You crushed it.
We love Val. We love the Trident Network. We love Carolyn, and we love improv, baby. Please remember, I love